Good morning, afternoon, and evening. Welcome back to the Liberal Artist Podcast. I'm your host, half awake, Bodio Papula, and with me I have Kaylee Horowitz.
Howdy, howdy.
And Andy Gibby Gibson.
For once, we have the advantage in the podcast recording arena because we are not recording at like 11 p.m. East Coast time. It's our time, baby. I've been awake for hours.
I'm still drinking coffee, though.
I've been awake for 40 minutes, and I hate it.
Oof.
Look, man, it's like the noon games hours on college football. We're not actually supposed to be fully awake yet. We're waking up for the good games and everything, so
Yeah.
fine.
In news completely specific to the three hosts of this podcast, how the fuck did Auburn get a primetime spot against Ball State?
Ball so hard state.
If that doesn't tell you what the state of the season is.
What the Ball State of the season is?
The Ball State of the Union address.
I don't know. I think Alabama losing to Florida State in embarrassing fashion kind of threw a lot of the plans for this week
It tastes
away,
so
you know?
good.
Cinema. Absolute
Yeah.
cinema.
Absolute cinema.
What's that one like movie quote where I think it's from Batman Begins where it's like, we don't need to see this. I do.
Welcome to the Liberal Artist Podcast, folks. You thought we were going to talk about some silly, goofy media. No, this is a football podcast now,
it's
boys.
a college football podcast. Last thing about college football.
Yeah.
No. We can keep going.
was-
I just love all of us being in agreement. Yes, we're talking about football right now.
I saw a highlight from Paul Feinbaum's show. where a guy
Oh, of the
was-
angry Alabama
the guy
callers.
crashing
Oh.
out.
God, yes.
The
It's so
line-
beautiful.
The line, if you were on life support, I would unplug the machine to charge my phone, will live with me for the rest of my days.
The angry Alabama fan flipping off the camera with the score underneath it is a priceless screenshot. Adding it to my collection. Mwah, chef's kiss.
God, I had to tell my mom the definition of Schadenfreude because I was just like, you need to have a name for the feeling that we have right now.
We do, mother.
For those who didn't grow up in college football, the University of Alabama has been the best college football team for 15 years? More, yeah. We all went to the other Alabama college, the actual state college of Alabama, Auburn University.
Mhm.
More damn.
Land grant pride, people.
Cow College.
We may have liberal arts and engineering degrees, but we're an ag mech school, baby.
Yeah, baby.
Barn College. No. We all went to Alabama's little brother, smarter little brother
We
school.
technically existed first, though,
we
didn't we?
we definitely existed first.
Yeah.
And again, we're the land grant college. We're the ones who got funding from the government. Anyway.
Did we change our name, reinvent ourselves a little bit? Yes.
Keep
Yeah,
the
but-
name of Alabama Polytechnic
Yeah, you can't-
Institute out of your mouth,
of your
That's
Bama.
what I'm saying. You can't be Alabama Poly and the University of Alabama. Shit's confused. That's why they're still the Ohio State, because there were two Ohio States. And we were like, how do we tell the difference?
I thought they were just being obnoxious. I didn't know that.
No, there were two Ohio States University, and then they started saying, no, we're the Ohio State University. And the other, I'm going to call it the first because it's funny, the first Ohio State University doesn't exist anymore. And now OSU owns copyright to the word the within the context of college football. It's very stupid. Our country is a funny place sometimes.
I absorbed my brother university in the womb.
Jesus Christ. I was just going to say on the Alabama Poly, I'm like, man, I bet they're not even poly. I bet they're just
There it
saying
is.
they're in an open relationship and cheating on the other the whole time.
Knowing their Greek culture, yeah.
We're looking for a third university.
We liked your vibe from across the state university.
Who's Alabama and Auburn's third? Is it like Montevallo to get freaky, or is
Oof.
it like South Alabama for like the beach house, or maybe
It's
Troy to
probably,
spice it up.
honestly, it's probably UAB, University of Alabama, Birmingham.
No, but see,
Because
I
they're
was
like,
thinking
no,
Troy,
they
though.
have Alabama, but it's also like, yeah, but they're smart. So Auburn's like, hey,
Here's why I say you go with Troy, because you
Uh-huh.
should never have sex without a Trojan.
I'm not laughing at that.
I am.
That was so bad it was good. Well done. Well played.
In a completely other direction.
Mm-hmm.
From bad sex jokes?
No, actually. So we debate, argue, idea pitch for the show, right?
Yeah.
And for the
There's
last
a lot
ma-
that gets cut in the writer's
there's a
room.
lot that gets I won't say left as on the cutting room floor as much as I say banished, stomped, and plastered to the cutting room floor.
Bodio has a quite a incredible head count of killed ideas.
It's funny because of my own neurodivergencies. I do count and I do take it. It is something I think
didn't know
about.
You were keeping a hit list.
I can't help it, and I do feel bad.
Spree. Kill-tacular.
Not the Deadpool.
But on Kaylee's let's call it agenda for the last 2 years has been the show Has Been Hotel, and every time I say no, and
Yes,
again,
that's true.
I keep a head count. I shut it down 7 times. Which I'm like, that number's too big.
What's the 7 in Halo kill streak?
Kilimanjaro, I think.
Hell yeah!
I love that ride in Animal Kingdom.
But I decided, hey Kaylee, I will meet you halfway. It's not Has Been Hotel, it's Helluva Boss.
The lobbying campaign worked, motherfuckers.
When you want somebody gone and you don't want to wait too long, call the immediate murder professionals. Hand grenade or cyanide will make it look like suicide. The immediate murder professionals. We do our job so well because we come straight up from hell.
I'll give you a single crumb of queer cartoon in hell.
Yes!
Which is weird. I think it's actually across the board more watch time.
It is. I was about to say, I actually tricked Bo with my lobbying campaign to watch more
It's
silly
real.
gay demon cartoon than
That's
there would have
real.
been in Has Been Hotel as
You
of
got
September of 2025.
Yeah.
Well, one of
That's-
them's for free on YouTube, and the other requires paying Bezos money. So
You act like I don't do that already.
yeah, I don't pay for my account. I'll tell you that. He's not getting
Yar
my money.
har fiddle dee dee.
I just get it from my parents.
Oh,
No,
I thought you meant the other thing.
I don't have generational wealth. Anyway, the demons.
Anyway, yeah. Tangent avoided.
The
Demons.
demons. So give us a little primer, Kaylee.
Ah, yes. Welcome to my unexpected but now basically my hyperfixation for the better part of
years,
like
yeah.
3 years at this point. Yeah, it has been Hotel more specifically. I watched Helluva Boss when it started dropping on YouTube, wasn't into it, watched Has Been instead and went, "Oh, I like this world through this angle now, and now I want to see what the other corner of it looks like." So, the hopefully TLDR version of this whole universe, Vivian Medrano, creator, writer, and originally like one of the lead animators, notorious internet personality for a lot of reasons. People love to love what she makes and people love to hate what she makes. So you've probably seen her in the Spindle Horse style floating around. It's very long, spindly, lanky, very red and hellish. She has 2 shows that are currently still like either in production, making more, or are out on the internet in various places. Amazon being where you can find Has Been Hotel. YouTube being where you can find Helluva Boss. Helluva Boss, soon to also be on Amazon Prime, as now these 2 worlds, they're 2 different shows, but they take place in the same universe, same world. Her stylings and versions of what is hell actually like? Can we make it silly? Can we make it very gay and ridiculous And let's also put Brandon Rogers and Richard Horvitz in here too, because why not? And so Helluva Boss, in this kind of hellscape of how she's envisioned the world, the lore, the mythology, we have our ragtag team of imps and one hellhound, who have their own sort of a freelance business in the assassination market of hell, so to speak. IMP, the Immediate Murder Professionals. It started, at least, as an office comedy kind of show where you sinners, you're sent down to hell, you die, you end up here, you want your revenge on someone who's still topside, call the Immediate Murder Professionals to get that revenge. They'll go to the human world for you and kill them off for you. And that's the premise. Where the show goes from there is actually quite a number of absurd directions away from that center just pitch nugget of the idea. We are introduced over the course of 2 seasons and many shorts, and the occasional music video, to hellish royalty from the Ars Goetia to the 7 deadly sins themselves, and get to explore through the eyes of sort of these hellborn native creatures, what are all of the 7 rings of hell like, as well as the, political commentary piece of the show that's like, hey, the lower class deserve better and will rise up to obtain that. Yay! But all disguised through the veil of dumb sex jokes and screwball comedy. So there's that.
Let me say this from the rip. I think if people have very, what's the word I'm looking for? Extreme ideas of what your show should be, I think you're making a show for a specific audience, and that is the right thing to do. Like, this shit knows its target audience is very much so DeviantArt, Newgrounds, Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy, Coded.
A lot of voice actors.
Yeah, Invader
Yes.
Zim. I forgot to mention that, right? It's definitely like that era, scene, kids.
For all the hot topic,
what do you think?
For all the hot topic kids of today
Yeah,
and yesterday.
fingerless gloves.
No, this show is very much a product of the fact that its creative team are not us as a group, but our generation, and especially that like alt art kids that came up when like the shows that you mentioned, Bo, were at their heightened popularity, and then we lost that kind of humor and style in cartoons, among other things. But the point of this is very much the like between Has-Been and Helluva Boss to bring back not only artistic style and very specific like flair in animation work and design, but also what was the shit that was funny when we were growing up, and what can we do to make that, a little bit more now that we're all in our 20s and 30s and have to be adults? How do we merge those two together and exactly kind of bring in the new crowd? Because it's so wild to have watched this show. That was the other thing I forgot to mention. Helluva Boss and Has-Been Hotel started purely indie projects. There is an old pilot of Helluva Boss and Has-Been on YouTube for free.
It has aged questionably.
Yeah. Well, when this episode comes out, dear listeners, there is theoretically going to be a new pilot episode for Helluva Boss out for your viewing pleasure. I believe it's already dropped on September 10th. I could be wrong. But that is meant to be the new kind of like Mission Zero pilot episode as Helluva Boss is brought on to Amazon Prime. So that old pilot is about to be non-canon. But those kind of kicked off here's the idea of both of these shows that exist in the same world, and everything was crowdfunded through the indie studio of Spindlehorse. It basically, Helluva Boss especially, makes its money through its merch sale and the support, like the continuous Patreon support of the fandom. Like, it did not have big studio backing for most of its production, which is why a lot of the episodes were uploaded to YouTube months, if not years, apart from one another originally, which made the original viewing experience a little tenuous at best if you didn't just like marathon everything back to back. So y'all have gotten a very different viewing than what I did. because theoretically things are still fresh. You might not have had the sort of like implied, oh wow, there's been a huge gap of time between some of these episodes that was meant to be there, versus some of these where it's like, oh god, do I remember what happened 6 months ago when the last one
That
came out?
also makes sense. We're getting into the nitty gritty. There were weird inconsistencies in the voice cast and their appearances. It's like, oh, they probably just weren't available.
No, there were times where I'd like it was Erica Lindbeck, I believe, who voices Luna, had to step out for a little bit due to personal matters. So the
Luna goes to the vet episode where she has no
exactly.
spoken
That's
lines.
why she doesn't talk. She wasn't there to record.
There's the change in perspective to I'm gonna fight somebody if they say Asmodeus weird again. But there was the weird change of perspective to Fitzarelli and Asmodeus, as they say, and I was like,
Asmodeus, you
yeah.
demon host,
I was like,
the
this is a
lust.
weird turn. I don't hate it, but it's weird. That explains a lot.
Yes, there were a lot of stalls and just wait time hiatuses that came up, again, through being self-funded, but it's so wild to like see that in Spencer's and Box Lunch and Hot Topic, there's not only Has Been Hotel merch, but Helluva Boss merch, and watching this thing grow from like indie project that the internet clung to now overpowering the machine of Amazon enough to go, we really like this thing, you idiots. You should give them money to make the thing faster. It took forever for them to actually recognize that. It wasn't until the second half of season 2 that was airing between last year to this year, like ending with Sinsmas. It went from Full Moon to Sinsmas was the second half of season 2. That's been the only piece of that show that's been like on a regularly scheduled release, because they were finally able to go, hey, we know when these are coming out because we have the production resources, etc., to make that kind of calendar happen. So it's been a kind of staggered viewing experience if you've been there from the beginning, or for new people to jump in, here you go, it's all there. But one thing I also forgot to mention, it's a musical.
Sort of.
Not every episode has a song,
has a song.
but the times that they do, is it everyone?
Nah,
Some of them are
not
less like singy versus
Definitely
just,
in the
like,
second season,
this is
every episode
happening.
has a song.
Yes. That was the other thing. As the budget increased, as the production value increased, that Viv is a big musical theater nerd. And so that was part of this like storytelling.
Really?
Would have never guessed.
Yeah. Nah. So part of that was very much a like, I want, because Has Been Hotel is a musical. There is at least a song, if not two, every episode. Helluva Boss is that like, I have a full 20 minutes to do whatever I want with this. I want full songs if we can do that. So definitely you're correct in that season 2 cranks up the musical dial to 11.
They also go from 7 to 15-minute episodes to full 22-minute episodes. More traditional American animation style.
I am looking at like all of this. I'm looking at the YouTube channel, just so I'm like, okay, we're speaking the truth. We know what we're talking about.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Everything you guys have said is absolutely correct here. I was at first like, I don't think there's a song in every episode, but then I start looking at it and I'm like, no, it looks like they're right.
There are a lot of musical moments in the episodes, but early season, there's not every episode gets a song sort of thing. Or they could only do so much. Like Stryker has a little bit of a song that's thrown in mostly as a joke.
Yeah.
There's a couple, like Verosika Mayday has her sort of like, we see part of her performance, but not all of it.
It's like diegetic, kind of.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Versus back half of season 1 and then going into season 2 is very much like, all right. Because the other thing that Viv was actually very earnest but also smart about was that she pitched this to musical theater performers in a very genuine way that so many of them went, that sounds amazing, put me in. Like James Monroe Eagleheart, famous Broadway actor. You've seen him like as the face of like Genie in the Broadway Aladdin for years. I believe he originated the role as well as gone on to do so many other things.
Oh wow, he was in Hamilton. Wow.
Yeah, he is the voice of Asmodeus.
Asmodeus.
also one of the first Ozzy. He's one of the first like Broadway actors. Like there's a lot of, in Helluva Boss specifically, is kind of a mixed cast. You've got some comedians, some YouTube personalities, other just like animation voice actors, but also this sort of MT crowd, musical theater crowd. James was one of the first people that she talked to about this show because she brought him a cartoon drawing of him, like to see Aladdin. Was like they had a whole meet and greet moment, whatever.
Shoot your shot.
Truly, she was like, "Hey, I'm working on this idea," and he's like, "Honestly, if you ever need voices, me and some buddies, we love this. Let us know when you need us." He cameoed in the pilot for Has Been, and she brought him in for Helluva Boss, and that kind of stamp and seal of knowing who else is in your project allowed for so many other like Broadway caliber performers to come into the fold and make the musical part of this show that much better, because not only are they good voice actors and bring a lot of life to the characters, they're great singers. And make the sort of musical moments that much more like actually
It's almost like you should
for
hire
animation.
singers for your musicals. La La Land. But it's funny. And I'm not alone on this. So before you judge me, I would usually skip the songs. And I know I'm not alone on this, because if you have YouTube Premium and you hit fast forward, it does here's where most people fast forwarded through. And it's usually through the song. So the first couple of times I'm like, man, I should watch this. And then after I was like, no, it's not just me. But one of the songs that I did, there were a few that I'm like, all right, this song's pretty sick. One that I didn't like, but it made me stop, was Beelzebub song. Because I was like, oh shit, is that Kesha?
Ooh.
And then it was like, oh yeah, that's Kesha.
Yes and no.
Really?
That's the thing. Yes and no. I'm gonna ruin the illusion for you as another kind of, again, working around circumstances. Beelzebub is voiced by Kesha in that appearance in season 1. You are absolutely correct. That is not her singing voice.
Wow.
Because that was still when she was contract record label, legal shit, and could not sing for the role because she did not have the rights to her own vocals. So, and things have changed in her schedule. She will not be returning for further appearances as B. Her singing voice is actually taking over as her.
Yeah.
Exactly. So it's like, Mother's going off to do other things. But part of Viv's early inspiration in music and style and playing with color came out of a lot of Kesha music. And so that was also one of those pushes of just like, I'm just so genuinely earnest about this. If you could be part of this project by hell or high water somehow, I would love to have you here. And so, Queen Bee.
There's just such an interesting mix of people that are involved with this, because like you had your moment with Kesha, and I had a moment with, is that the cast of Smiling Friends? And like the additional voices as listed here, it's Zach Hadel, like voice of Psychic Pebbles, animator, and like Smiling Friends. And then you have Michael Cusack, who's also on that and was like one of the, all of these guys are like what I call weird YouTube. Like the slightly mean-spirited, violent, like cartoon makers for like ADD riddled boys who are not very good in gym class but are very energetic. I knew many of them. I hung out with them.
It's a specific descriptor, but you're not wrong.
I mean, you have people like Michael Cusack, Zach Hadel, that I just did not expect, because I thought they would be the kind of guys making fun of a project like this, one that's like so unabashedly itself. But then you also have interesting choices that like some I knew about, some I didn't. Like one, Jinx Monsoon, the Queen of Queens of RuPaul's Drag Race, John Waters, famed director and beloved Baltimore weirdo. We love our guy. And then like, who did I just see on the list that totally threw me off? Oh yeah, Norman Reedus as this season 1 voice for Cowboy. I was just like, how the fuck did you swing Norman Reedus? He's got like 70 sessions to record for whatever Hideo Kojima bullshit he's
This is some
doing.
shit Norman Reedus would be into. Like you would show him a drawing, you'd be like, yeah, I'm in. but
Yeah.
Say no more, fam. I'm in.
I think that's a good point of turning. In again,
Mm-hmm.
we briefly mentioned how polarizing this piece can be.
Yeah.
I think that's important. Like I said, a polarizing piece, if it can still prove to like gain an audience and gain like a strong and good audience, probably means it was made for a specific group of people, which is what you should be doing. You shouldn't try to generalize stuff. I mean, you can try to generalize stuff. That's
Yep.
that's fine, but not everything should be generalized, which is a different discussion. Kaylee, I know you specifically kind of fall into the groups in which this thing would be built for. Yeah.
Oh, most certainly. It is. It's animation. It is, like, again, insane voice acting talent as a draw. It's stylized. It's a musical. There's a lot of things to love about it. But one of the biggest dividers, even amongst the fans, like not just the people that hate it because of whatever they have a problem with about it, but the biggest divider that I see talked about in the community is that so many people keep yelling, we want the workplace comedy back. Like, we want that to be the thing. Show us the job of the week. Like, do that shit again. Versus the people that have become so invested because, again, Viv has a story that she's mapped out. We've got a confirmed 5 seasons, I think. for this show. Like, she
Jesus.
knows where it's going.
That's a
Like,
lot.
it's, but that's the thing. She knows where it's
5
ending.
more
And so
or
part of,
3 more?
no, 5
Okay.
total.
That makes
yeah.
more sense.
5-act story. That's good.
Exactly. 5-act story. Like, she knows where it's going. It's not like we're just gonna let this thing run until God knows when, even though there's the desire. But she knows what she's doing with the story, and so part of that has been this development of a little soap opera-y, but emotional episodes, kind of inner character revelations, relationship building and changing, drama, for lack of a better word. That side of what Helluva Boss has become has also pushed people into, no, we want more of that. Show us more of the struggling of, like, acceptance or changing of selves, but also of their relationship between Blitz and Stolas. Show us more with Octavia having to deal with her parents, like, being as bitter and soured as they are between one another, or Millie and Moxie. There's a drop of a surprise that we get up on a cliff note at the end of Sinsmas between what's going to happen with Millie and Moxie next season that might change things. Like, there's so much of the inner world, inner character drama that people are excited by, but then you also have another crowd pushing back going, but this was a workplace imp demon comedy. Go back and do that.
I think that's kind of just like Growing Pains.
Was it?
Yeah, kind of, sort of. Not for very long, but it was definitely like a situation. It was a sitcom, right?
Yeah.
I think that's kind of like just like Growing Pains of any, I'd argue, animated piece, but like to kind of bring it in a world for like me and Gibby, it's the exact same Growing Pains that Venture Brothers went through, right?
Yeah, where it was like, this is just a Johnny Quest parody. Haha, fooled you. It's in its entire world now.
And that's just kind of the transition you have to do to keep the story going.
Yeah.
You, like, as you write through, you might have a full narrative that you have planned out. Like, you might have the general idea of the entire story that you're going to tell, but you're going to learn things about the characters as you create them. Like, it's a very different set of characters for the most part by like the end of season 2's runtime. Not just because of development or anything, but just deciding as a writer how they interact with each other, how they adapt to different situations. Like, I take a look at what the pilot was like for this show versus how it ended up actually playing out.
How we get to Mastermind, which is kind of one of the more grand episodes of actually like less kill of the week, and actually there are political consequences now for the actions that have just occurred.
Narrative.
And narrative consequences for sure, but it's that like, oh, this is no longer just this little ragtag team. This is creating a revolution amongst the lower classes of hell, and
Your choices
the powers,
will shape the world around you.
the powers that be are kind of questioning what's happening really and truly in response to characters making very specific choices to protect others. But then we also just get these moments of like, but we're gonna be a little silly
I'm
here.
gonna say
and there, too.
fucking bitch every other word, which they do a lot.
Are there any lines that either like you immediately went, okay, no, that's funny, or we're just like, I fucking hate this. This is the stupidest thing. Because I feel like there's a lot in this writing.
Not really. It was more my momental stuff with like how censorship works. Like obviously they curse all the time, and Mammon, another one of the demon princes, is Australian, and he says what I assume is the C word, which as an American dude, I stay away from it. I jump out.
It's for the best.
I assume you can't say that word unless you're a woman, Irish, or Australian. Outside of that, I'm not fighting nobody.
The Brits say that they can have it, but
Brits
they've
don't
had
get shit.
Yeah.
Fuck the British.
Like we've all read the history books. We know why there are so many independent
This is
days.
your fault, Britain.
Yeah.
You go to the British Natural History Museum, the C word is behind glass and box.
And I break the glass.
Irish artifact.
But it was just interesting to me that I'm like, of all the stuff you say, if you have to censor a word, why would you say it at all?
Well, that's part of like the YouTube kind of like, hey, this is what we want. We do have to put a filter.
Yeah,
up
but
some of this for
as a
YouTube.
writer, I'm like, you
Sure.
can get away with so much, and it's like, okay, this one thing we can't get away with. Why even include it then? Right?
I believe it's coming to Amazon uncensored, but don't quote me on that.
Okay.
I think that even if they do that, the feeling will not change. I will preface this by saying
Mhm.
that overall, I enjoyed the show. I had a good time. Thank you for the recommendation.
Uh-huh.
However, I do feel from the start that this is what I call the JoJo Siwa syndrome.
Explain.
In that it's taking a medium that is kid friendly and saying, we're going to be really edgy now. Like, remember, Kaylee would remember this quote, Bo has more important things to do with his life. There was a quote of JoJo Siwa saying, like, just wait till I say the F word. And it was just like, you're trying to do an adult rebrand, but you think adult means gratuitous violence, sex adjacent humor, because it's not like you're going to be able to show like full frontal on YouTube, even if it's in like cartoon format or whatever. You will get
Cartoon
so
titties.
close to actually talking about something like this, but you can't. One, because that would alienate the audience of, you know, preteen to late teenage, mostly girls, but also queer people, and Hot Topic children, of course. But you can't actually go that far because YouTube censorship, and it would freak out the audience. All those teenagers think that they're ready for like haha dicks dildos jokes and everything, but a lot of them would completely balk at it completely.
The show is very 16.
Exactly. It's like, oh, you think you're ready for all of this, but you're never actually going to. We've all been at a high school theater party as young people where it's like, oh, we're gonna be bad, and everybody's just kind of standing around like, what do I do? I'm gonna steal that guy's hat. That's how I tell somebody that I like them.
If it hasn't been implied enough, the show is inherently cringy, and you either cope with it, or you embrace it, or you get the fuck out. Like, those are your kind of options, really.
Yeah, I don't know if
There's nothing that I can do about the cringe.
yeah, I don't know
Commandment
if
number 4.
cringe is the phrase I would use because I'm 30. I think it's
And you're well adjusted.
I like to tell people I am.
And you're not necessarily as chronically online as the rest of us.
That's true. I think it's just like there's a level of angst that either you still have or you don't, right? And
Yeah.
either you still have that angst and you can relate to it, which makes this show, which I think if that's the case, then you can sit back and really enjoy it. And if you don't have, yeah, it feels 16 and it feels like, why, who is this for? This is 16-year-olds. It doesn't matter if they have a disclaimer at the beginning.
It's also
right?
for the people who are going through second puberty in their mid 30s or so, who were like, I went to Warped Tour back in 2006. Like, I only maybe just found out or confirmed I was queer, so let's enjoy the things that I would have enjoyed at 16. You're giving me an Invader Zim that drops the F word? Fantastic.
Yep. I mean, yeah. No, like there's a lot of people that have found a lot to connect with. Sometimes it is through just the the cartoon violence, it's a cartoon that can swear, exactly. Some of that, sure, that does it for a number of people or for teenagers that are just like, "Oh yeah, that's funny." But I think what became very exciting was actually seeing how much of this fandom, like there's crazy shipping culture. That's all I'm gonna say.
Well, that's the thing.
But like that's the other thing
We
too.
all got
That people
excited.
became invested. Well, people became invested in that drama and that inner character stuff because so much of that is like for adults who've gone through shitty relationships or breakups or some of these situations like alluded to or depicted in the process of the character development arcs. That's the stuff that's like, no, it's subtextual or it's so much more like minimal or subtly kind of driven through with either a look, an exchange, or a beat that's held in the story for that. And that's the shit that's like, no, but that's why this is good. The other stuff is for flavor and pizzazz, but that kind of character work is really, I think, what keeps the adult audience engaged, is watching how that develops and continues.
Definitely when they decide Blitz is the main character and they
Yeah.
go full into his life, it takes a turn, I would argue, for the better in that context.
It gives it an emotional core.
Like I think I started really care because again I was like, it took me a while to come back and actually go and watch it committedly and be like, oh, but I am invested in this story. And I think really that kind of changed once we started actually getting like a peek more into that with Fizzarali as Blitz's foil and getting that background between the two of them, because now I'm like, oh, here's less of a like, another celebrity figure in hell, but actually, no, y'all two have a history, and oh my fucking god, is that horrendous. Oh no.
Also, it's Alex Brightman, so like we're gonna buy in a little bit more.
My Beetlejuice boy.
As soon as I heard his voice in like episode 2, it was like the Leonardo DiCaprio pointing at the TV meme.
Did that a lot in this show. We keep dancing around it. The show is extremely queer.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think that's for the better, except for it kind of. So y'all remember? I'm running to get back to our Fully Cooley episode. The Fully Cooley episode where Naota gets like, oh man, I'm king shit. And kind of gets his ass handed to him.
A little big for his britches.
Yeah, I feel as the first 2 or 3 episodes of season 2 are this show doing that. Being like, haha, look at how gay we are. And I think it loses. It becomes not fun. There's the joke where we meet the character Moxie's dad, and he's a mob boss, and he's atrocious, which I also have commentary about that. Moxie dated a guy at one point, and Moxie comes out and straight up says, well, I'm not gay, I'm bisexual. He's like, yeah, gay. And I'm like, okay, I feel like we didn't need to. Again, it's not my group, so whatever. If we had a black character, I wouldn't need him to be like, and I'm black, right? I think we can infer enough. And then that's escalated to Moxie's dad pressing a button and dildos show up everywhere. And he's like, what? You gays like this? And I'm like, okay, guys. Right.
Ha! There's dicks in the walls.
That made me laugh. That did make me laugh. But at that point, I was like, all right, guys, pull it back. I think the show is much better when it presents the relationships as such. Is like
Mhm.
Blitz and the owl dude. I can't remember his
Stolas.
name. Stolas. Their relationship. Their genders don't matter for that
Yeah.
relationship or for it to work.
Mm-mm.
Same with Fitzgerald and Asmodeus. I won't say Asmodeus. It's never even addressed with those two because it's presented as this is what it is. If you like it, cool. If you don't, stop fucking watching. This isn't for
Yeah.
you.
Well,
know?
and part of that is definitely to speak largely to the, as we're seeing build through season 2, actually what this show is about, which is about like inequality, opportunity, and sort of that tie of community, family, found family, like finding your
Mhm.
strength amongst your own. That it's not that like these characters are or aren't like gay or whatever sexuality. It's about power and status. Fizz is terrified that if he and Ozzy are found out, that's like a very taboo sort of thing. The Seven Sins are these immortal, high-powered entities in this realm.
They're
They're
nobility.
not exactly, they're not the king. That's Lucifer. Different show for now.
Why is he dressed up like a biker?
No, Satan's
Satan?
dressed up like a biker. Lucifer's
Wait.
a different guy.
Lucifer's in Has-Been Hotel.
There-
He left
there's
the
a
little
lot in
duck
this
in the
show.
chair with a note that says BRB in 5 minutes.
Oh,
Oh.
that's what that's referencing.
That's
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 Sorry
what-
to
'cause
interrupt.
again-
There's
No,
just
no,
so
no.
many like.
Oh,
there's a
no,
lot
there's
of
so many-
lore to figure
Exactly.
out.
That's the other thing. This show has a lot of great lore world building that's like less explained in the show, and more you watch it, you observe, you look at the background, and you go, "Oh, okay."
For,
that's what's
for as
happening here."
excessive as the show is, and excessive is the word that I would use rather than
Mhm.
cringe. For as like excessive and vibrant
Eccentric?
as it is, eccentric's a good one too. There's
No,
also a lot
excessive
of
is the right one.
Okay.
yeah,
okay.
maybe excessive eccentrics. Anyways, to say there's a lot of details that will reward
Yes.
people that pause the show that go so quickly. Text messages,
Yes.
posts, or like posters in the background or notes or things like that.
I love Blitz's text. That poor man can't spell to save his life. No, so like everything kind of has its own look, its own style and feel, and the sins are each kind of representing a very specific either type, or there's a circus theme kind of running through all of hell. Lucifer looks very like a ringmaster. Ozzy is sort of a rooster, kind of the lion tamer look. Satan is the strong man, and so that's sort of where that biker look comes into play. But they are all, it's like Lucifer is the king of hell. You have the 7 deadly sins as like the princesses like direct nobility under them, and then the Arscoetia, Stolas and Stella and Visaggio, who we're getting more of next season, but we only got one glimpse of, going, yes, cántalo, baby.
Oh, that guy's from Has Been Hotel.
No.
No, he's going
He's-
to be introduced later.
He was cameoed in the pilot for Has Been, but exactly, we're gonna get more of Visago in
Understood.
season
I was
3.
like, why are we getting so much of this parrot?
We're getting so many characters.
Is that?
But so the Goetia are these like exactly princes, nobility. The whole show becomes about status, and that to get to the original point of it, sexuality has very little to do with it. It's about the what does this relationship optics wise look like? Is there power involved? What do I have to gain? What do I have to lose? Which is partly why Moxie's dad is so insistent on this. Like, I'm not gonna. She's a little Wrath, like nothing. Like that's what the imps from Wrath are, is muscle. They're
You married a
not-
country bumpkin. I need you to
Basically.
marry somebody that'll actually make us money.
Exactly. And same with Blitz and Stolas. It's not about like your wife can't find out that you're gay. It's that you are a prince for all intents and purposes. You are a prince already been assigned into an arranged marriage, and you can't necessarily be cheating on her without consequences.
It's very strange to me. Yes, the power dynamics are very important. The same with in the same vein, the family dynamics are extremely important. For a show made by a female leadership and a show that owns its queerness on its sleeve, it is very mean to women, and I find that a little weird.
Hmm.
Same.
A
And,
lot,
like what?
a
Like
lot
there's
of
been
the
that feedback, but
yeah, a lot of the I don't think the show passes the Bechdel test, which I know isn't important. But after I like made that discretion, I was like, I started looking at them like, I don't think these women. Very rarely do they talk to each other, and very rarely are they not talking about another guy off screen. I think there was an overcorrection with the owl dude's wife. I can't remember his name. Stolas. Because again, I think in season 1, it's kind of like Stolas is the bad guy because he's the one who did he committed adultery, right? He's the one who
Yeah.
cheated. And then we break out into season 2. It's like, actually he didn't choose this. Actually, it was an arranged marriage. Actually, they hate each other. And actually, his wife, every time she's on screen, she's screeching.
Yeah.
She's irredeemable. And I'm like, I think we overcorrected. But even when we get to she has gotten what her way to continue Stolas's expression, she gets pushed to the side for Octavia's uncle. And now Octavia's uncle becomes the point of contention right now. He's the bad guy. He's the one who has all the power. He's the one in control. He's the one we're having a kung fu action fight scene against. Right?
Yeah.
It's super. The women are really mean as well. Luna is just kind of irredeemable. And when she's called out on it, and Millie is a great character.
Millie's
But
delightful.
Millie's
God, I love that woman.
delightful. And then the one short I did watch, her and her sister, I really enjoyed that. But I think of the clown that faced Fitzraleigh. I think of the pop star who used to date Bliss, the succubus lady.
Verosika Mayday.
Verosika Mayday.
She's kind of the only one with any sort of emotional depth beyond like what we first see.
I think of Luna's contention with Beelzebub being unjustified, and nobody really addresses it. I also didn't grow up as a teenage girl, so that's just something I don't relate to. You know what I mean?
There's a subtle paranoia to Luna, and I think there's a little bit more that we want to see explored in season 3, especially as we've seen her kind of cope and come to terms with that feeling of like Blitz as her adoptive dad, and less of just a like, you got me out of the foster system sort of thing, but I'm still a teenager and have big feelings and am angsty. But there's more to that for sure.
I think there's something really interesting to be said about that. Mostly because you said it all.
Yippee! I can read minds.
But like, I think the way I interpret it is there's some obstacles with production that may have caused a limit on the ability to have moments that pass the Bechdel test, or just the female characters spending time together, based on what you were saying earlier, Kaylee, about Luna's voice actress having to step away for some time. When your ensemble is like 2 men, 2 women, and one of them like isn't available for production, I could see then how there's less opportunity for like your ensemble characters to interact in that way. When you consider you get a lot of development later on between Blitz and Millie, as well as like Moxie and Millie spent time together, that's still like male-female dynamics. Like the only moment I can really think of like positive female dynamics are when the 2 daughters are talking to each other.
The stargazing episode.
But at the same time, they're talking about, hey, our dads.
They're talking about their dads.
So that's not going to pass the Bechdel test. So, like, hopefully that's something that we can explore later. But I think that is a really good point.
Yeah, not a critique, more an observation.
Yeah, like it's one of these positions where it's like, could we stand to have like a few more female characters in here? Sure, but at the same time, it's kind of to Gibby's point of like, I know I'm blanking on her name right now, but Octavia's voice actress, who was oh goodness, she originated the role of oh gosh, the best friend in Mean Girls, like,
Barrett
not
Wilbert
Katie.
Weed.
No, yes.
Mean Girls the
Um,
musical or Mean Girls the
Yeah,
movie?
I mean both, but like Mean Girls the
Understood.
musical, but it's the same character name.
Yeah.
The not too gay to function friend. I'm blanking on the other girl, but she's
She was also in
Sure.
Heathers.
yes, like she had to step away for quite a while. We
Mhm.
didn't get Octavia for a really long time, which
Yeah,
kind of
that's,
hurt part of that.
Like,
Stella has
episode
been
2,
made,
then 12.
yeah, like Stella has been made into an antagonist for all intents and purposes, and Viv has been
Yeah.
very much of like one of these. Yeah, Rebecca Sugar went through the like everyone can be redeemed. Viv is very much like, for a show that I am writing that is about redemption and second chances,
Not this
I'm
one.
not doing that. I'm
Understood.
not like some of that is no, this is how things have shaken out, production wise, and just what we're literally able to do, and some of it being no, but this is what I want to position some of these characters into play for later intents. But
They
I'm
are
with you of
demons.
like, I'm with you of like, we could be getting some more like female characters in the mix. We're a little male heavy, and I think in that kind of teeny female like vantage point of like, it's so much easier to gravitate towards like male character, and especially in queer relationship situations versus like, but what about the women?
Yeah,
please?
but I think that's a strength and a weakness, which means it's just
Yeah.
a thing that exists. I
Yeah.
like that it focuses on gay relationships because I think that's the braver option. But
Mhm.
at the same time, it's weird that it's only hinted at more lesbian relationships. Like, it's weird that they're. It's just and weird's not even
We
the
get-
word I would.
No, but we get the sinners from the first
yeah,
episode.
the crazy country lady who's
the new wife
yeah,
and the teacher
fucking the
actually end
teacher.
up. I loved that.
That was
so
fun.
much.
That was very
That-
fun.
But it's also a throwaway as compared to like the deep emotional trauma
Oh, for
that
sure.
we see Stolas and Blitz going through. Like,
Yeah.
Sure,
it's-
but they're
it's-
protagonist, right?
Yeah.
Like, we
Yeah.
don't
They've
need
got to
to
go through the character development. You
yeah,
know?
it's not.
Right.
It's not. I'm not saying that we need the level of Blitz's character depth in every single character that that's in the
No.
show.
Mhm.
Now 2 shows, and music videos and shorts. It's the Has-Been Hotel expanded
It's-
universe, and
it's
there's
the
too much shit
Helluverse.
going on.
It's the
I hate
Helluverse.
I hate the word you just said, and I'm not going to use it. There's too much shit going on. I do hope that there's more female presence as the property grows. Right.
Mhm. Which again, season 3 has positioned us to see kind of, spoilers. Stolas loses his status, as Gibby was talking about. Androlphus is Stella's brother, also a piece of shit.
Mhm.
But Androlphus kind of takes over as the head of that household. Stolas loses his status. As
And more
prince.
importantly, access to his daughter.
And access to his daughter, who also doesn't know the full situation of what's going on, and he can't reach her to explain. And also, there's a question of, does she have any right to forgive him in the first place? Because, like to Bo's point, he was kind of the party at fault, cheating. Like, did he realize there was more to this relationship than just the I hate my wife fact of it? Yeah, he's always kind of had this unrequited obsession and lack of social skill to know how to handle it because of his upbringing. But all that to say, we're in a position to see more of like Blitz's rise on the up and up in next season, and Stolas coping with that new change in status. That, theoretically, maybe this brings in new characters into that orbit of IMP. Who knows? As well as we get a little more glimpse into the Ars Goetia. I did forget to mention we were on the Satan topic, but it's the same episode. Did you recognize Satan's voice actor, Bo?
Should I have?
The only musical that's ever gotten a thumbs up from you.
Oh, is it the guy from Hadestown?
That is Patrick Page voicing
Sick.
Satan.
I know that voice.
Awesome.
And so I was just like, if I had a nickel for every time Patrick Page played a demonic Lord of Death entity, I'd have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it's happened twice.
It's good. It's the role that he was born to play.
Right.
You should be the devil.
Yeah, it's coming back to LA, and I'm hyped.
Look.
It's coming to Baltimore next year, and I'm like, am I gonna get to see it? Am I gonna get to see it, Joan?
Fucking love Hadestown.
I know I asked the line question and we kind of touched on it, but were there specific songs? Like, Bo, you mentioned there were at least some you didn't skip, but were there any songs that you were just like, fuck yeah, like which ones? Because the soundtrack varies across style and
sure.
emotional beat. I just always like knowing what's everyone's favorite song.
The one that made me the angriest was Fitzgerald's "This Song Is Literally Just a Distraction." That pissed
look
me
at
off.
this.
Yeah, that pissed me off. I was so mad.
I'm gonna need another 30 seconds.
Fuck! That is a good bit, though. There's nothing that I'm gonna like add to a fucking playlist, brother. It's show tunes.
What's that supposed to mean?
You know what it means.
I
Getting
am the
real
Moxie
excited for the show tunes at the gym, baby.
The one I like specifically got chills for was the Stolas taking the bullet for Blitz.
Yeah, Mastermind.
Yeah, like that one I started to hit fast forward and I was like, wait, no, this is fire.
He is the law. Like that choral, like at the end, I'm like, oh.
I'm with you there. Like, anytime Stolas has a song, it's usually quite good, because who knew that gay trauma made good theater music? Crazy.
Impossible. Who would have
Yes.
guessed?
That's
I
Grace
also-
Binkham for you.
I also really like Fitzgerald's song in the Mammon Clown Fest episode.
The 2 minutes notice.
Yeah, I enjoy that because I feel like I don't really know that much about Vizzy Pop, but I would hedge a bet that episode is all about her personal experiences as a creator, having to deal with both somebody telling you, I'm going to make you a great kid, but only if you do exactly what I say, and also having to contend with a fan base that's like, I will love you unless you reject me, and then I will personally kill you. I was just like, this is like that episode that every Hollywood writer has ever wanted to make, but wasn't able to because they had like a studio backing them, and you can't, unless you're like John Oliver, who's like, oh, I hate you, business daddy, and all of that. Like, and because like HBO's like, whatever, he makes his money. Nobody else can make stuff like that, you know?
There are so many songs in, especially season 2, that I'm just like, God, these are beautiful. A music video that it was a fan song that Viv liked so much that she had Bryce Pinkham record an official version, and they released it as a separate music video before season 2. The second half premiered. The "Look My Way," like that. It's such a beautiful song. It is encapsulative of that pining, but wanting him to be freed to be his own person in their relationship. Like, there's a lot of beautiful music in this show.
Yeah.
For some reason, my dumb ass keeps going, what's my favorite song? I'm a clown, bitch!
That I don't like. I was just like, okay. I was just like, I get it. This is like semi K-pop. Sure. Please explain to me how you're a clown if you're not funny.
Sexy clown.
No, fuck off.
Get out of my internet history.
I rest my case.
That's just goths.
Final thoughts. Gibby go, then I'll go, then Kaylee gets to close out.
I was about to say, I'm like, I've been here. I live in this.
Like
Okay.
I said, it's an excessive show, but eventually it finds its footing, and I enjoy it because I like the relationship dynamics, and it's nice to see people who realize I'm fucked up. Maybe I should make a change slowly. I think that's a very good way to go. I don't love all characters in this show equally, but those that I do enjoy, I enjoyed very much so.
Who are your faves?
I'm definitely a Blitz fan, and
Hey.
I very much enjoyed the Fitzgerald and Ozzy episodes. I found those just like, this is, my God, a healthy relationship dynamic.
A healthy relationship in hell? Good God.
A healthy relationship.
Ah.
Yeah, I was just like, I like them and Stolas, whereas I'm like a little bit less on Moxie and Millie, especially Moxie, where I'm just like, oh, great, guys, we're doing another thing about how Moxie is emasculated. Fun. Haven't seen this before in this show. and Millie like doesn't really change until like the last episode or so, which it's like, yes, you're nice, but you're also static, so I'm not as interested. Suffice to say, like the show, had a good time. I probably will watch season 3, which is exciting, right? So once the show wraps up in like 20 years, we'll come back and talk about it.
Yeah.
We'll talk about the second half of the show. I even went and watched the bonus episodes. That's my book report.
Bo, your thoughts and favorite characters?
Let me start with Millie's my goat, and I'll fight you.
If I had a nickel for 2 characters named Millie that we absolutely love on shows we talk about, shout out Millie from Trigun.
Yo, it's a good name. I don't have enough teen angst to like be into this shit, bro.
That's very fair.
This reminds me of, again, the kind of like Tim Burton-y, Hot Topic-y fandoms of high school that I was always tangential to. But
your
never
anime
in.
shirts were in the next section in the Hot Topic.
That I would have to walk into Hot Topic to get my Goku shirt, and I'd be pissed off every time, right?
It's the only place I can get it. Damn it.
It was.
Yeah.
Shout outs to Hastings finally getting anime shit and then closing.
Now it's everywhere.
For me, like I said up top, I think there's a level of relationship you have to this sort of stuff that I'm just missing. It's not for me, but I'm very happy that it exists.
Oh.
The pieces like this, I think are made for a specific audience, and I think it's better for it. Sorry.
I would love if, like, on the review, on, like, the poster of, like, Helluva Boss, it just has, like, huge cough in quotes. Bo. Like, instead of 4 stars, it's just, like, as the, like, phonetic review on it.
Not for me, but I'm glad it exists.
No, dude. Deadass. I think this has, like, a specific group of people in mind, and I can, though I know it's not for me, I can enjoy it.
I'd say that's high praise coming from you, though. Like,
Yeah,
again,
praise.
you're not afraid to, like, go, no, that sucked.
Yeah.
I grade, like, on a curve, and if Bo gives something a 7 out of 10, I'm dropping everything I'm doing to go watch it, because it's probably a masterpiece.
A 7 out of 10 should be really good. It's not your fucking high school grades. They're not like,
That's a
hey,
good
if you
point.
didn't absorb 60% of this, you failed. 7 out of 10 is good. Average should be 5.5.
Is that why everybody was so mad about IGN with the 7.8
Yeah,
out of 10
because they're
for
like
Pokemon?
7.8. That means you just got to see it. It's like, this isn't school. Anyway.
Sorry,
Oof.
it's my fault that like the closing thoughts has gone on to become like an entire thesis. I'll take the blame for that.
If you are into My Chemical Romance, Tim Burton shit,
Musicals.
musicals, give it a shot. It's free. It's free.
It's free. You can't beat that for
Right.
free. You can buy lots of fun merch if you want, and that supports it. They
I
do
actually-
make really good shit.
I actually
Like-
went on the merch store because she was like, it's fun to buy merch. I was like, oh shit, let me grab something. I clicked on their website and I immediately got angry and I clicked out.
I will say, Shark Robot is a great distributor. They need to clean up their website.
They really do.
It's so bad. But the stuff they make is great.
Has it changed at all since like 2009 when Psychic
No.
Pebbles and Oni NG were putting stuff up there?
No.
Not
Oh.
really.
But again, closing thoughts, Kaylee.
You already know I like this kind of shit.
That's why we did it.
Listen to me. Look at me. What the fuck did you expect? I don't think I'm like ride or die Vivzy Pop. Like there are some people that are that into it, which is just not for me. Like I'm not.
It's
at
best
that
not to
tier
do
level.
that for anybody.
I agree, but no. Again, I've said there's depth and there's shallow waters to tread in this. There are great main characters. Like I very much am like a big Blitz Fizz. Especially Ozzy and Fizz as a dynamic. Stolas, that's Ian's fave. Surprise, surprise.
Oh,
Surprise.
what? Ian likes the queer owl character who talks in a fancy manner? Oh no!
Shout out to you.
Say it ain't
I'm
so.
also a big fan of the side character, like the one-off, like the little side recurring characters of this show. I fucking love Wally Wackford. I love that idiot so much. Every time he pops up, I'm just like, there he is! There's my favorite white boy! Like, this stupid
They're
little mustache.
clearly demons.
Look at that man. Tell me. What
Tell
was
me
the-
that
the-
man is not Caucasian.
No, what's the Aqua Teen Hunger Force? Look at him and tell me there's a god. He made me in his own image.
That's a good meat wad. God, unsurprisingly, this is their most ADHD episode. Like, that's
Yeah.
fitting, right?
I've been unleashed. That's the problem.
Mm.
And I have a very I love Millie and Moxie, but I think I have a very soft spot for Moxie. I love Richard Horvitz. That man is one of my voice acting heroes. He's the voice acting, like he's the vocal director for this show. So you know, it's fantastic performances across the board, and I leave that in no small part to him and his sense of like timing, style, all the things. I love Moxie. Mostly just because I'm like, no, that's me. I wish I was that skilled at one particular thing, but most of the time I'm just
Killing
like,
people?
I mean, it doesn't have to be that, but just a skill. Otherwise, I'm kind of bumbling around, trailing after my wife, and also obsessed with musicals.
Sure.
I see myself in him, but no, it's a fun show. If you want something, you know, slightly different in focus, I'm not gonna say there's less drama, but it's just scaled at a different level. Check out Has Been Hotel, but definitely check out Helluva Boss because it's free and you can't beat that. And
It's
there's 2
free.
seasons worth and shorts and lots of stuff.
It's
To
like
pique
3
your
hours
interest.
of content, man. Use
Yeah.
whatever. You're fine.
And the fandom is alive and kicking. So if you need more, just go to Twitter or AO3.
DeviantArt. I immediately saw like, hey, this show doesn't actually fuck the way that it says it fucks. Oh, right, they're just gonna make it all on DeviantArt. Just get it all out of your system over there.
And that's been this episode of the Liberal Artist Podcast. Thank you so much for joining us, man. Follow us on our socials. Like, comment, subscribe, give us 5 stars. Join us next time when we jump into hell.
Yippee-ki-yay!
We're already there, buddy.
Like,
Oh,
sad piece.
sad piece.
Peace. Depressed.
The Liberal Artists Podcast premieres every other Thursday on your favorite podcasting platform. The show is hosted by Bodhi Opapula, Kaylee Horowitz, and Andy Gibson. You can find the show at Liberal Artists Pod on Instagram and Twitter. Thanks to White Hot for performing the theme song Reflect, which can be found on freebeats.io. Now, I'm off to go exploring, and maybe, just maybe, I'll find a sheep that I can call my own. Good day.
The liberal arts has never, ever engaged in piracy.
No.
Oh, I gotta go take my flag down. Excuse me. The skull and crossbones are a little obvious. Never mind.
And if you see any dangerous websites, be sure to let us know so that we can tell the government about them. We'll definitely
If you know any
do
pirating
that.
websites, add them in the comments so we can go and check them in on ourselves.
Especially if they involve Nintendo games.
Oh my goodness.
because
Or Ubisoft games.
We'll be sure to tell everybody.
Mhm.